parliament. These all points you have to remember. What is it meant by political liberalism? Okay. Then afterwards, we have to study about the suffrage. Suffrage means the right to vote. So after the French Revolution, the right to vote was given to active citizens. You may be remembering. Then throughout the world, there were movements to get that right to vote. And slowly, different sections they got. That is during the period of reign of terror, Robespierre's time, Jacobins rule. Men above 25 years got the right to. 21 years got the right. Men above 21 years got the right. That is property was the first one, active citizen. But afterwards, every male got the right to vote. That also for a short period. Then they bound back to that earlier that property condition. Then we have that the women got that right very late only. They did not get that right to vote till the 20th century middle. 1948 only, the women got the right to vote. Got it? Napoleon's court went back to limited suffrage and reduced women to the status of a minor. What is the meaning of minor? So they don't have any right. They were controlled by the elders. That was the status of women during the time of Napoleon. Then, throughout the 19th and earlier 20th centuries, women and non-property men organized opposition that movements. But still, the right to vote was not introduced to or not given to all. So second part of liberalism you understood. Now we are moving to economic sphere. Economically, liberalism means what is that? All that trade and other activities should be taken place transparently. That is, weights and measures to be uniform, and prices and currencies to be proper. This was the idea or the concept of economic liberalism. But during that time, economic liberalism was not there. Let us take one example, Germany. Germany was divided into 39 principalities. These 39 principalities, about 32 currencies were there. That means every region have their own currencies. Weights and measures also different in all the regions. And there were 11 custom points. Everywhere different types of customs duties were charged. That is 5% of that product. Just imagine you are a trader. You are traveling from one place to another. So 11 custom points are there. So when you are traveling at all the points, according to that place unit, you are charged. That also 5%. It was very complicated. That is, the person who calculated this thing is also difficult. The person who pay that duty also difficult. So they felt the need of a uniform custom union. And that under the leadership of Prussia, they formed a custom union that was known as Solberry. What was the name of the custom union? Solberry. Who initiated? Prussia in 1830. 1834, they formed the custom union for the establishment of uniform custom. Got it? Correct? Yes. You just read that loudly. Page number 10. That custom union.
A merchant traveling in 1833 from Hamburg to Nuremberg to sell his goods would have had to pass through 11 custom barriers and pay custom duty of about.
So how many custom barrier?
11.
11 custom barrier. Then how much was the duty? 5% at each one of
duties were often
levied.
levied according to the weight of measurement of the goods. As such, as each region had its own system of weights and measures. This involved time-consuming calculation in the manners of clothes. For example, that was any which each region should for different lengths and area of textile material. Both in Frankfurt would get you 64.7 centimeter of clothing, men's 5.1 centimeter, and in Nuremberg 65.6 centimeter, and Freiburg 50.5 centimeter.
See, you just imagine, we are calling that is 1 meter as cloth. So this 1 meter, if you want to get, where you can get 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter? Nowhere. Are you getting the point? And the trader who is going to sell his material have to pay the custom duty according to that place unit and that place custom duty 5%. So it was very difficult. So there was a need for a custom union to make a fixed custom duty. So that is next paragraph you read.
Such conditions are obstacles economic exchange by the commercial classes who are for the creation of the and allowing the undeveloped movement of good 1824 customs of customs was formed as initiated union abolished by the the creation of various workers
Got the point? What was ordering? What was its use? And who initiated that formation of custom union? How it was benefited to Germany? All the points clear? Okay. Not understood means asked. Any part? Eh? Not understood. Say, if there is a custom union, that union will fix the rate of tax. That means how much duty they have to pay. You know that when we are going from this part to Mumbai, through that Vashi bridge, there is a toll naga. So all the vehicles used to stop and the taxes they have to. It is fixed. The four-wheeler should pay this much, two-wheeler should pay this much, or eight-wheelers or six-wheelers. Depends upon that vehicle they have to pay. So who fixed that? The authority who charges. The same is the use of custom union. There is no difference. That is 11 custom collection. Okay, one union fixes the tax and same currency. Otherwise, you are using rupee, the other person is using. I'm just giving an example. Okay, so you are using one currency, the other person is using another currency. It was very difficult for that to collect that one and validate it. If you are paying, that is American dollar, Singapore is also having dollar, Australia is also having dollar. Each country's dollars value different. So you are paying the dollar, but the value is different. So it was very difficult for earlier custom agencies to collect. Now, only one custom union, it was very easy for them to fix and collect. Now, is it clear? What is the use? Now we are moving to another important, say, Avanti and Armenia.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Understood, no?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now we are moving to another important thing. There was another development that is called conservatism. This one is new conservatism, not what is old conservatism. What's the difference between old and this new conservatism? We used to tell that oh, that person is having conservative ideas. You may not tell, but we used to tell. Conservative idea means the old ideas. They believe in that old customs, old rigid policies and all. The same way, those who believe in that kind of ideas are called conservatives. But what is here? For understanding that, we have to go back to that Napoleon's period. Napoleon started that means a path of war. That means he was called as world conqueror. He set out that conquest. Almost all the countries were conquered, and wherever countries of Europe, okay, wherever he conquered, he introduced that Napoleonic order. Remember, no? Napoleonic order. Now, what happened? The European countries were fed up of it. Why they were fed up? The kings believed that they are losing their power. If he tried to establish a democratic system, the kings are not having any power. So that made them very much that is angry, annoyed, or they were not happy with that. Happy with that condition. So what they did, all the European countries joined together. And they waged a war against Napoleon at the battlefield of Waterloo in 1850. Napoleon was defeated. So, who was on the other side? All the European countries. After the defeat of Napoleon, what happened? They decided to establish that old institutions back. For that purpose, in 1815, they met at Vienna to have the Congress of Vienna. Okay? Vienna was the capital of Austria. Okay, Austria's capital, Vienna, they met. And they drafted a policy or drafted a program which to be taken in the countries. Understood? What was the idea behind? They wanted to establish conservatism. Conservatism means all the conservative institutions like a kingship, church, everything to be brought back. But when they were sitting together to discuss the policy, they thought that if it was brought as it is, they won't like. Because all the places the revolutions are taken place to put an end to that monarchy, power of the church and all. Now, if it is brought back as it is, then people will revolt. So they want to make a change in that institutions. That is why it is called a new conservatism. Clear? You just read. This one, new conservatism after 1850.
Following the defeat of the Napoleonic League, the European government had driven by the spirit of the conservatism. Conservative believe that the established traditional institution of state and society like the monarchy, the church, social hierarchy, property, and the family should be preserved.
That going to be underlined. This is very important. What the conservatives believed. The traditional underlined or not? You have to underline from conservatives believed that established traditional institutions of state and society like monarchy, the church, social hierarchies, property and family should be preserved. That is the first point. Clear? Continue.
Most conservative, however, did not propose a return to the society of pre-revolutionary days. Rather, they realized from the changes initiated by Napoleon that modernization could in fact strengthen the traditional institutions like the monarchy. It could make the state power more effective and strong. A modern army and efficient
Bureaucracy.
or dynamic economy, the abolition of feudalism and
Serfdom.
could strengthen the autocratic monarchies of Europe.
So that part also you underline. What is new conservatism? A modern army, an efficient bureaucracy, a dynamic economy, abolition of feudalism and serfdom. Okay. So some of them wanted to preserve the old institutions, but majority wanted a change. That okay, kingship will be brought up, but then a kingship with the modern efficient army, with the help of efficient army. So that way, they made some changes in that order. That kind of ideas were known as new concepts. Clear? So what is that? A modern army, efficient bureaucracy. What is bureaucracy? Official class, officers. See, everywhere the government functions with the help of efficient officers. So that way, efficient bureaucracy. Got it? Understood? Then the third one, dynamic economy. See, earlier in France, why this revolution happened? That economy. Economy was going back. But it has to grow. That is what a dynamic, very active economy. Bureaucracy is officers, official class. Clear? Have you written? Officers you write. We know that in government there are some officers who draft and give that. That only the government will implement. The that means ministers or whatever that administration will implement the policies which were drafted and given by the officials. So those officials are very important. We know that under secretaries or that kind of sections, they are only drafting and formulating the policies. Now, when you are taking the ministers, many of the ministers are not having the knowledge about that particular department where they are working. So, for them, there are officials who work, and then these people draft and try to implement. Yeah. So then, dynamic economy, abolish the feudalism and serfdom. You have studied about nobility, nobles. So they have vast lands under them. And there were some people who were called slaves or serfs who were under them. This system were abolished. Did you understand both that part? Now, in 1815, representatives of European powers, Britain, Russia, Prussia, and Austria. Which were the countries? Britain, Prussia, Russia, and Austria. They collectively defeated Napoleon, met at Vienna to draw up a settlement for Europe. That is called the Congress of Vienna. Yeah. And it was hosted by Austrian Chancellor Duke Metternich. Underline who drafted that. Duke Metternich. Later also about him it is coming. So I have told Vienna at that time was the capital of Austria. So in that place only this one was held. So naturally that country's head will host that meeting. That is why Metternich's name came. Now, the delegates drew up the Treaty of Vienna in 1815 with the object of, underline that point, with the object of undoing most of the changes that had come about in Europe during the Napoleonic Wars. We have studied Napoleon introduced the same policies in the conquered territories. So that one to be undone, that one to be cancelled. That was the meaning. Then, the Bourbon dynasty, first change. The Bourbon dynasty, which had been deposed during the French Revolution, was restored to power. So, put number one, that Congress of Vienna, what were the changes? Bourbon dynasty was restored. Got it? Next one, France lost territories it had annexed under Napoleon. All those territories which were conquered during the time of Napoleon were taken away from it. That was the second thing. Then, a series of states was set up on the boundaries of France to prevent French expansion in future. Third point, new countries were created in the boundaries to prevent its expansion. Now, which were that? The Kingdom of Netherlands, which included Belgium, was set up in the north, and Genova was added to Piedmont in the south. Prussia was given important new territories on its western frontiers, while Austria was given control of northern Italy. This way, France was completely dismembered, we can say. Means earlier, whatever territories it was having, it could retain, but new territories which were conquered during the time of Napoleon were taken up. And it was these countries were given to others. That was. Now, but the German Confederation of 39 states that had been set up by Napoleon was left untouched. In the east, Russia was given part of Poland. That also. That one of the reasons for that war, Second World War, was that. Okay. Then, while Prussia was given portion of Saxony, the main intention was to restore the monarchies that had been overthrown by Napoleon and create a new conservative order in Europe. Did you understand what happened? In 1815, the countries met. Which were the countries? Russia, Austria, and Britain. Okay. These were the four countries. What was the aim? That to undo the changes that had been brought by Napoleon. Accordingly, what all changes were taken? One is that the Bourbon dynasty was restored. Next point, we have seen that. Yes. Then, third point, series of states were created on the borders of France. And that which were the countries and which were given to other countries. France. The ultimate aim was to establish new conservatism. Clear? Now, we have seen new conservatism, but it was a policy of bringing back to autocracy, dictatorship. The aim was to bring back the dictatorship. Now, what was that? They did not tolerate criticism and dissent. What was that? Nobody should criticize them and dissent. What is that? Disagreement. They hated disagreement and criticism. See, if any country tell that France was doing wrong, France cannot accept it. The same was the condition of all European countries. That is what they cannot accept dissent and criticism. Why I am stressing these words? If it is coming for 1 mark, you should remember the word. You cannot write any other word. So, focus on it and learn it. Next is that sought to curb activities that question the legitimacy of autocratic governments. If anybody questioned against the legitimacy means legal status of the autocratic government, they did not like, they did not accept it. Most of them impose censorship laws. These points also you underline. They imposed censorship laws to control what was said in newspapers, books, plays, and songs, and reflected the ideas of liberty and freedom associated with the French Revolution. Whatever ideas which were introduced by the French Revolution, wherever it is reflecting, that was censored. They were not allowed to use the terms. If you are using the term equality, no, not like. If you are using the word democracy, no, not like that. So that is what their aim was, to censor all those ideas which were related to transformation. Next point is that the memory of French Revolution nonetheless continued to inspire the liberals. So liberals, they were strong during a period, a certain period they were strong. Then only conservatives came. So conservatives suppressed any type of liberal ideas. Got it? Next, one of the major issues taken up by the liberal nationalists who criticized the new conservative order was freedom of press. This word also you underline. Once in board exam also it was asked. Huh? What was that? Major issues taken up by the liberal nationalists was the freedom of press. Yes, new conservatism clear? Huh? What are the ideas? Who introduced? When it was introduced? For what purpose it was introduced? Now let's move to another important development. Right. Huh? No, sir. Revolutionary. So liberalism we have studied, conservatism we have studied. Both are completely opposite. Now we are going to see a new group of people. They were the revolutionaries. They believed that revolution is the method to establish democracy. See, everyone have their own ideas. Now you just imagine, I'm giving you a project work. Not going to give, but I'm giving. Imagine. So that project work I told you have to do like this. General ideas were given. Now each one have to do individually. So he is having his own idea to present it. You are having your own idea to present. You people are also having your ideas. So it may not be that the idea of myself. I have given the topic. So you are presenting it according to you. The same way the revolutionaries also thought that they could bring back nationalism with revolutionary ways. Revolution is the solution to bring. For that, it was not very easy. Majority of the people were illiterate. To the illiterate people, a new idea to be implemented was not easy. So what happened? These revolutionaries introduced the ideas by forming secret societies. One of the person who started the movement was Joseph Mazzini. He started secret societies like Carbonari, first one born in Genoa in 1807, he became the member of the secret society Carbonari. Then, as a young man of 24, he was sent into exile in 1831 for attempting a revolution in Liguria. Then he started, while underground, he started secret societies. What were the societies he founded? Young Italy in Marseilles, Young Europe in Bern. So like that, in different countries, he formed secret societies. What was the aim of these secret societies? See, his idea was that God had intended nations to be natural units of mankind. It was not a forced one. It has to be under the government of that people, sovereign ideas to be sovereign government of that country. That is why he started forming secret society. Yes, you need to read that part. So I will tell you which all points we are. Yes.
During the years following in the field of national government, they were nationalists on the ground. Civil societies planned out many European states to create revolutionaries and spread their ideas to be revolutionary at this time gained a commitment to oppose to mob that had been established after the Vienna Congress and to fight for liberty and freedom.
Yes, underline these 2 points. To be a revolutionary means what was that? A commitment to oppose the monarchical system. Are you getting what is that? To be ready to sacrifice their life for the establishment of democracy or to put an end to autocracy. That type of commitment. That is one. Second one is that fight for liberty and freedom. What? Continue.
Most of these revolutionaries process of creation of the national states was a necessary part of this birth of the
See, they saw that the creation of nation states as a necessary part of the struggle for freedom. If they formed into nation states, then only they can fight for freedom. See, you 6 people, you are fighting for one cause but differently. Is there any use? If you are fighting for a same cause, you have to work together. That is what told by that thinkers of that time, especially revolutionaries. Okay. Now, eh? Well, that is end communication. Okay. Armaya, just read that second paragraph of the revolutionaries.
One such, right? From one such.
Yes.
One such individual was the Italian revolutionary Giuseppe Mazzini. Born in Genoa in 1807, he became a member of the secret society of the Carbonari. As a young man of 24, he was sent into an exile in 1831 for attempting a revolution in Liguria. He subsequently founded 2 more underground societies, first Young Italy in Marseilles, and then Young Europe in Bern, whose members were like-minded young men from Poland, France, Italy, and the German states. Mazzini believed that God had intended nations to be the natural units of mankind. So Italy could not continue to be a patchwork of small states and kingdoms. So it had to be forged into a single unified republic within a wider alliance of nations. This unification alone could not be the basis of Italian liberty. Following his model, secret societies were set up in Germany, France, Switzerland, and Poland. Mazzini's relentless opposition to monarchy and his vision of democratic republics frightened the conservatives. Metternich described him as the most dangerous enemy of our social order.
Who described Mazzini as the most dangerous enemy of social order? Metternich. See, Mazzini started forming secret societies and he was working for it. So Metternich was very angry with that. So he described it as, or the Mazzini as a dangerous enemy of social order. And Metternich described about whom? Mazzini. You have to remember about that quotes and who told about who. Clear? Because it's not like that. Who told this and all. No. But sometimes that one part, one passage is coming. You should remember which part this one is in. That is why. So direct question it will not come. That day also I have told it. Clear? See, Mazzini is not ending here. Mazzini is coming later also, and his influence in Italian unification is very important. So earlier, Italy was not a country. It was divided into 7 independent states. And there was only one ruling family which belonged to Italy was ruling. Rest all were ruled by somebody else. So it was a very difficult stage to unify. So Mazzini played a very important role in creating awareness among the people. That is why it was given as the introduction, but later Italian unification part is again mentioned. Clear? Now we are moving to 1830 and 1848. That period was known as the age of revolutions.
So, ma'am, all the revolutions were happening in this period of time.
No. Actually, in 1830s and 1848, there were so many such small revolutions have taken place. And this also helped in the unification movements also. That is why it was considered as the age of revolutions. And when we study about this one, we can see that everything started with France. French Revolution was the first. Though it was taken 1789, but it was having so much impact in other countries. So many such revolutions, July revolutions, or so many such revolutions are taken. Everything had its beginning from France. Because of that, Metternich once stated that when France sneezes, Europe catches cold. What was it? That is, France was the beginning of it.
If France gets war, then Europe also gets involved.
So its impact is felt in other countries. It was not that war should start, but its impact is felt in other countries. That is why, who told the statement? Metternich. Why? Because every revolution began with the France. Now, among that, that means actually France was not the cause, but with that, during that time only, there was the Greek War of Independence. Have you heard about this Greece? What? Greeks are the people of Greece. Okay, Greece, have you ever heard? What do you have heard? Try.
That
Jews people were not in Greece. Anything?
the British.
No. Yes, Avanti,
And then Italy.
Italy. Something is there.
Yes.
Do you know anything about Greece or Greek people?
Not particularly.
Ma'am, I think
Not
it
the
was
Greek alphabet.
human of
Greek alphabet.
Yes.
Okay.
It was a part of the Roman Empire.
Not one of them.
And there is a Greek language.
Greek language, okay. Armenia, any idea?
Ma'am, Greece, like Greek philosophy is there.
Philosophy, okay.
Then Greece is also known for its language, it has its ancient language. Greek.
It's an ancient type of.
There are many Greek gods.
Greek gods, okay.
Its name is a little bit Asian.
Asian. Okay. Have you heard about that Olympics and all?
Yes.
Zeus Olympics.
Olympics started from that ancient Greek city-states, Athens. Okay. And the Greek sculpture, have you heard
Yes,
about?
ma'am.
So that all things that
Ma'am,
Greece.
they make sculptures of their gods.
Based on that. Okay. Then this place, what is that? Utsav Chowk design.
Ma'am, here also new building was developed here right now. In Sector 35, little bit inside, that building was like about history. The building names were Alexander, Caesar, and then Napoleon. Yeah,
Where it is? Sector
Paradise Group.
Ah.
Yes, I heard that. Sector 35.
Okay, nice to hear about that. Okay, let's see. See this one, Utsav Chowk, is a design based on that Greek. There was that 5 duets used to be there, and people used to sit in the gallery to watch that.
No, it's close.
Colosseum,
It is now closed.
it is close that design I am talking about. Understood? So the design is taken from that, particularly for this purpose. And Indian sculpture has gone to other countries also, but these type of things we are having that influence from Greek. Okay, my question is not that one. Greece belonged to that ancient civilization. Indus Valley, you all heard about it.
There is a movie, Mission
Impossible.
Yeah,
Mission Impossible.
it's about not that, but it was a movie where there are 2-3 people who want to meet the great mathematician of olden time. I don't remember his name. They were time traveling through that time capsule. I don't know, but they entered that area with the time traveling machine with the plane, and after that they were about to stay there, but then the great mathematician said not to stay there because wars are going on and it's not safe for you. So what he said, you will have to go for now because everything will change. No one will remember you. So means like the family will only know. No one will know that we'll see. So he said, okay, I will go. Then he goes to the present side, and then he started his new life with his parents. He went to the Greek area, like Romans were fighting with other people, and where the great mathematician was creating an time travel thing. It was small thing. It was they found it in a cave. It was little bit underground.
Okay. See, what we should know is that one of the ancient culture, that is civilization, if you are studying about, Greek civilization is considered as the cradle of civilization. Cradle, do you know? छोटे बच्चे को सुलाने के लिए एक so उसको बोलता है cradle. So the civilizations all started with the Greek. So everyone in the world had respect to that Greek culture, and this was this Greek country was belonging to the Balkan province. Balkan. Means Mediterranean Sea and nearby that areas were in the Balkan. So what happened? This it was brought under the control of Ottoman Empire. You told about Ottoman Empire. So when it was brought under the Ottoman Empire, these Greek people were having, even though different gods were there, they were influenced by the Christianity. Type of Christian beliefs were also there. So there was Christianity as well as the ancient gods. So Muslims came, that is Ottoman Turks were Muslims, controlled them, and it was under their control. So there was a movement, there was a feeling of nationalism among the Greeks. And when this movement started, before that is not about this period, earlier when the revolution started, that Turks persecuted them and they had to go in exile. So many Greeks were in exile in different countries. So here in 1830s, when the revolutions were taken place in Greece, the people from exile, they began to support that movement. They returned also. And people all over the world, especially great thinkers and writers, also began to support this. They collected money to finance this movement, their independence movement. One example is that one English writer, that Lord Byron, he personally went to Greece to help the Greek people. As a result of all these activities, they were forced to give independence to Greece through the Treaty of Constantinople. In 1832, Greece became an independent country from the hold of this Ottoman Empire. Okay, now you start reading that first paragraph. Ah.
As per the regulatory rights, right of consolidated powers that nationalism be associated with such as the state, the process of thereby
Okay. Now, Avanti,
Yes, ma'am.
you just read the second paragraph.
Okay, ma'am. Wait one. Conservative regimes set up in 1815 were autocratic. They did not tolerate criticism and dissent.
Age of revolutions, 1830 and 1848. Second paragraph.
Ma'am, age of revolution.
Ah.
The first upheaval place in France in July 1830. The Bourbon kings who had been restored to power during the conservative reaction after 1815 were now overthrown by liberal revolutionaries, who installed a constitutional monarch with Louis Philippe at its head. When France sneezes, Metternich once remarked, the rest of Europe catches cold. The July Revolution sparked an uprising in Brussels, which led to Belgium breaking away from the United Kingdom of the Netherlands. And
you understood that? All of you understood, no?
Yes.
Now next, you read first. Complete. We will complete it.
That influenced nationalist feelings among the educated elite across Europe for the Great War of Independence. Greece had been part of the Ottoman Empire since the 8th century. The growth of revolutionary nationalism in Europe part of a struggle for independence amongst the Greeks, which began in 1821. Nationalists in Greece got support from other Greeks living in exile and also from many West Europeans who have sympathized for ancient Greek culture, poets and artists, including
Lord and
Lord Greece as the cradle of European civilization and mobilized public opinion to support its struggle against the Muslim empire. The English poet Lord Byron organized funds and later went fight in the war. When he died of fever in 1824, finally the Treaty of Constantinople of 1832 recognized Greece as an independent nation.
understood, no? That is how Greece become an independent nation. What are the homework I am telling? This one you have to write. Secondly, what is meant by conservatism? Then next one is about that revolutionary movements.
But our example,
Huh?
for our exams, just example.
Over, but you have to.
Okay.
Next week.
Okay. Next week only.
Next week the week.
Huh?
Next week the week. But शायद अब तक छुट्टी चालू नहीं हुई।
छुट्टी
नहीं है, समर टाइम।
you will not have that.